Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tales from the Occult. And this is episode 3. Today, we have a very interesting one. It's actually a request from a subscriber. It is titled The Goatman of Maryland. For any of you who don't know, in Maryland, there is a bridge that is said to be connected to a very nefarious entity. But before we get into that, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Today we are sponsored by none other than Dixieland Home, Farm, and Garden. Dixieland Home, Farm, and Garden is the perfect place to find all your home, farming, and gardening needs. Anything from feed for your animals, to gardening equipment, to simply pretty much any household tool you will need for maintenance. Now, Dixieland Farm and Feed is located at 21330 Mississippi 603 in Kill, Mississippi 39556. I personally use them for all my home and gardening needs because, well, can't beat their prices. Now, that being said, let's get back into it. Thank you to Dixieland once more for being today's sponsor. And that address was 21330 Mississippi 603, Kiln, Mississippi 39556. Address and link to their Facebook page will be in the description below. Thank you. All right, and we are back. Now, this is actually a script for once. I know, shocker. All right, but Goatman's Bridge. Today I have found some interviews from people that have said they've seen things. Now, whether that's true or not, and they actually saw these things, I don't know. They could just be lying to try and get famous. But in case they are not true, and these people are just seeking fame, they are going to remain known as Interviewer 1 and Interviewee 2. Now, the legend of the Goatman is very popular. It has been explored by the Explorer Club of Sam and Colby, Zach Baggins and his team, and a whole slew of other people. But some people actually go there to worship. Some say that he's a demonic entity. I mean, he's half man, half goat. Others believe he's a vengeful spirit of an old person from way back in the Civil War times. Mr. Goatman, who was a African American man who was actually hunted down by a certain very, very extremist group. And other people even say that he is a deranged individual who has modified his own body. I don't think that is true. I do believe that he is something paranormal and not just some weirdo. But regardless of how you explain it, the stories are chillingly consistent. Many speak of a large, towering figure with hooves, the body of a man, horns, and eyes that will burn straight down to your soul. Uh, and I'm going to actually read here one of the interviews that I found online. It is from a woman. To set the scene here, she had apparently just called police, and her voice was very shaky and filled with fear. Her breath was a little ragged. I was just driving home, nothing unusual. Then my headlights could casted a silhouette in the fog. It was enormous, and I thought at first that it was just a goat of some kind standing on its hind legs. Then it looked at me with glowing red eyes. It was standing right in the middle of the Goatman's bridge watching me. I could hear chanting off in the distance. I turned around quickly and sped off, and I've never gone back. Now that's something, folks. Not only seeing something paranormal, but uncovering and hearing somebody trying to summon this creature. The second interviewee is from an actual interviewer who was a paranormal investigator there to actually investigate what was going on. He still is going to remain anonymous because I don't know if he wants me putting his name out there. But I'm going to read it anyways because internet's public domain. We have experienced a wide range of phenomena in my time. EVPs, unexpected lights, sudden temperature drops. But nothing compares to the chanting we hear that was low and gravelly. We even captured what appeared to be a large bipedal form on thermal imaging that was white. For those of you who don't know, on thermal imaging, white is very, very hot. Like fire kind of hot. Moving through the woods. It was unlike anything my team has ever encountered or likely ever will again. Folks. I guess now is the time to mention Goatman's Bridge is actually very, very notorious because a man was killed there, of course, but not just any man, a African-American man who went by the name Arthur Goatman. Mr. Goatman was not only being hunted by the prejudice group of that era, but was actually caught, tortured, and eventually killed on the bridge. Now, that's not the only thing that would cause this. There is something called sensory deprivation. This plays a part in something called the Estes method, which blocks out your sight entirely by putting on a blindfold and wearing sound-canceling headphones to where all you can hear is what's called a spirit box. A spirit box plays the frequencies, and you can only hear the frequencies. In investigations that I have watched, they like to put people at what people call the Hell's Gate tree, which is a V-shaped tree stemming off from its roots that actually is said to be a gateway to hell. That being said, this gateway is actually proven because it has a very strong electromagnetic pull towards it, meaning it severely messes with compasses and actually has made people feel nauseous. And when doing the Estes method, it feels like you aren't talking to just some person. It feels like you're talking to an actual demon based on what they're saying. Now, there's a giant slab out there. Nobody knows where it came from. If you do use a spirit box out there, the spirits in every investigation I have seen always point you back to the tree or underneath the bridge, where there is said to be the meeting place of cultists. I know I'm smiling. I'm just very excited to be talking about this because of the fact that, well, it's not often that you get so much undeniable proof about something like this. I mean, I could say, oh, I saw this thing in my backyard. Paranormal. But with Goatman's Bridge, there have been so many cases that are so similar that you cannot deny that there has to at least be some validity to it. I mean, come on, folks. Time is now, and there's so much proof. That being said, thank y'all so much for watching. And I'm actually going to do a new segment here and read something from an old inspiration book of mine. Let me find a nice one. Okay, here's one. Hold on. All right. Here it is. I found it. If you want to know who you really are, you have to look in the mirror and acknowledge what you see. All right, fellow ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining me on this fine day. Next week, we are going to be discussing a Christian cult. What? All right, until then, thank you for watching and safe travels.